Let's move on to main topic number 5. And this is one we've been talking about a lot lately, but it keeps evolving. This question gets sent to us by Aadit Arora, who writes, "Hi, John and Rob. AMC is now likely to file for bankruptcy during the pandemic. I usually go to Showplace Icon, but that will close tons of IMAX 3D and Dine-in Theaters. Is there any way to save AMC Theaters?" All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And of course, you know, as I mentioned, we have been talking a lot about the AMC situation. Now, to recap and just to set the context for us here, AMC Theaters, being the biggest exhibitor in the world, they were in a more precarious position than a lot, if any, of the other movie theaters were, even though they're bigger, when the shutdown happened, because AMC Theaters have just spent a number of years making massive expenditures, improving their theaters, acquiring new theaters, and getting their AMC A-List program up and running. It was an expensive endeavor, and an endeavor that put them $5 billion in debt. $5 billion in debt. But that was okay, because that was the plan. We're going to go into massive debt. We're going to do all this spending, but then our theaters are going to be better. We're going to have more theaters. We're going to have this incredible A-List, AMC A-List program up and running, and everything was going according to plan. AMC A-List this past quarter, Rob, was the first quarter for them that A-List actually started to turn a profit, and it was just going to continue to make profit for them moving forward. However, in a perfect storm, this shutdown hit just as they hit the apex of that debt, and were not able now to enjoy those profits they were probably trying to position themselves to start making. That has left AMC in a very precarious situation, to the point, Rob, that a bunch of analysts in Hollywood said they ain't going to survive. They won't survive. And we've talked about this for the last few weeks. The newest development in all this is that it is now official. AMC has engaged legal teams that specialize in bankruptcy. It seems at this point that AMC Theaters has resigned themselves to the fact that they are going to have to file for bankruptcy. The biggest movie theater chain in the world is about to hit bankruptcy. Now, bankruptcy is not an automatic death sentence. Bankruptcy is actually, in principle, a doctrine that was created to actually protect individuals and organizations from being completely decimated when going into such a filing for filing Chapter 11. This will give AMC Theaters some protections, give them some breathing room, and give them an opportunity to reorganize. But Rob, even if all that happens, it is likely that AMC Theaters is going to be in a position that they will probably have to excise a number of their assets. They're probably going to have to sell off a bunch of their theaters. They're probably going to have to drop a bunch of their things in order to satisfy the requirements of some debtors under bankruptcy. Because bankruptcy, unlike what some people think, is not just a get out of jail free card. It's not that. It still has very, very negative repercussions. And this could still have very long-lasting effects on AMC Theaters. Rob, at this point where it seems like it's inevitable, AMC is going to be filing for bankruptcy. This is going to change the landscape of our industry. Seeing the Titanic of movie theater chains heading in this, Rob, how do you see this affecting not only AMC moving forward, but maybe the whole theatrical industry as a whole moving forward with AMC going into bankruptcy? How do you see it?
Well, it's definitely some look. They responsible business owners in this situation have no choice. And what bankruptcy, remember, it's bankruptcy, there's protections, as you pointed out, involved here. And what they're trying to do is they're incurring massive amounts of debt without getting any kind of income. And it's not like they've been mismanaged. I mean, again, this was a natural disaster that nobody anticipated. And I think they're doing the responsible thing. And like you said, the movie studios, we're talking just about whether Black Widow or No Time to Die can come out. Well, the studios need theaters in order to have these movies come out and be successful. So having AMC, which is the largest theater chain, go away or being in the midst of bankruptcy protection does not help the studios in their cause when movie theaters can finally reopen. So I think they're going to get a lot of aid. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to step in and help AMC through this, because they need AMC to be here. Because as we've talked about, releasing these kinds of movies just on streaming does not allow them to recoup what they need to recoup. The studios need to make a lot more money than that. And we're now in a situation where there's a ripple effect across multiple businesses on multiple levels. I mean, remember, movie theaters have people that deliver supplies to them. You're talking about transportation, and you're talking about the people that sell candy and soda and popcorn to the theater chains. There's so many people that are affected by this, and I just don't think that they're going to get the aid they need. I don't know quite how it's, obviously I'm not privy to those kinds of things, but it's going to change. It's going to change, and it's going to hurt. It's not going to be painless. But I think we're going to see AMC come through this, not necessarily unscathed, but hopefully stronger than before. I mean, they've been upgrading their theaters to provide a premium experience to moviegoers. The studios know this. Customers know this. I mean, we're going to want to see these things. And who's going to come in? Every business, John, is suffering. So it's not like Disney or Amazon's going to swoop in. They've got their own problems. Obviously Disney, we were talking about that earlier in the show. I mean, Amazon's got a lot of money, but Amazon has a lot on their plate too. They can't just take over an entirely new business and be like, yep, well, while we're trying to make Whole Foods work, let's take over the movie theaters too. It's not just because you have money doesn't mean you're ready to take over a national or international company and start running a service industry that you had never been involved in before. So we'll see. I think what AMC more than ever is being responsible. They're talking, and they're looking through their options, and talking to bankruptcy lawyers is number one on that list. And they're figuring out, how can we survive this? And so I think they're making the smart play. They're making the only play. And I think kudos to them for continuing to do good business, even in this terrible time of economic upheaval.
I'm also hearing a lot of people, Rob, saying, even when the theaters open back up, no one's going to go. It's changed forever. And I hear some people saying, I can never go to the movie theaters again. Here's the thing. Whenever something big happens, there are two things you should never underestimate, Rob. One, never underestimate the human capacity for knee-jerk reactions.
Right.
And that's true of me. That's true of everybody. I mean, it is. But also, number two, never underestimate the resiliency of the human character. Never underestimate the resiliency of the human character. Because I remember, and again, I'm not trying to equate these two situations as being at all the same. I'm just saying I think there's an object lesson here. When 9/11 happened, there was a lot of talk, because, I was around when that happened. There was a lot of talk of never flying again. You remember, Rob, you were around that time too. We saw all the talk and all the discussions. Will people ever fly again? Will people ever feel safe? Guess what? They did. Maybe not every single human being in the world, but the vast majority of the public got back to flying. If the packed flights I was always on are any indication, everybody did get back to flying. And there are a lot of people right now, again, I see, I'm never going to the theaters again. Okay, you may think that right now, but I think you're underestimating your own actual resiliency. Because at some point, most of us will. There's going to be a bunch of people that as soon as they throw the theater doors open, a lot of us are going to go back. Some people are going to be a little bit more cautious, want to wait to see, make sure everything's fine. See that a lot of other people are going, and it's not causing any more big breakouts. Okay. But at some point, I think we always underestimate human resiliency to get back to our way of life. Will there be some changes? Sure. Just like in 9/11, how we get on a plane now changed. Will there be some changes in theater going? Maybe there's going to be, I don't know if there's going to be hand sanitizer stations in the front of every theater and you're going to be required to apply it before. I mean, I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. But I think people underestimate that. And if AMC can come out the other side of this, I think it won't be long before they are on the road to becoming healthy again. on the road. It might take a while to get healthy again, like you said so accurately. There's going to be some pain, there's going to be some hiccups, but I think people underestimate the human resiliency to get back to it. And I know I'm planning on going back once they say it's cool to do so. I know others are going to go, and I think others will just have to take a little bit of time, and that's totally understandable. Totally understandable. But I think there is light at the end of this tunnel. And I think some people right now are being more skeptical about that. Skeptimistic. I combined it, skeptical and optimistic. Skeptimistic about it right now. But I think the time will come. Anyway, guys, I want to ask you that. What do you think is going to happen here with AMC Theaters? It looks like they are taking that next step right now. They are heading into bankruptcy. Can they come out the other side? I'm not 100% sure, but if they can, I do believe better days are ahead. But what do you guys think about that? Jump down into the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Side note, Rob, the other thing about, with the movies going to VOD, I'm not making this a headline because I can't personally verify this. So no headline, not making a video about this. But, I heard from somebody inside the studio system about Trolls. You know how they just launched their VOD thing? Not doing well. But which to you and I is no surprise. We knew that. But I mean, the VOD system is not turning out the way some people thought it would. A lot of these movies that are doing that, not working out. So to go to what you were saying again, Rob, the studios really do need AMC Theaters and all the theaters up and running again for them to make the kind of money they need to make. Anyway, guys, listen, with all that down and out of the way,